Greetings, Earthlings. It's been a minute, but we're back in this. We're back in this. There was a lot of stuff that happened over the summer, and it kind of delayed the break that I was planning on taking. But we're back. We got things figured out, and we're here. So, hello, welcome. Now, for this video, I'll be honest with you guys. I need to hold myself in contempt. Now, a while ago, I made a video on commanders that were hard to build around and dedicated about half the video to the Grandeur cycle of creatures. Now, it may sound narcissistic, but I do rewatch my own videos. And I watched that video back and realized I'm a fucking idiot. So, today, we're going to revisit these cards and not only properly iron them out, but correct any and all misconceptions that I had to begin with. So, let's jump back into this channel with only a bit of spit and talk about Grandeur. Now to recap, Grandeur is an activated ability present on a cycle of monocolored legendary creatures from Future Sight. They allow you to discard a card from your hand that shares the same name with the card on the field in order to yield an effect. While not strong on their own, they can be abused. Now in the original video, I had the idea that you could use Library of Lang to discard them to the top of the deck instead of the graveyard, but a commenter noted that Library doesn't work when discarding as part of a cost, only the ultimate effect, so that renders that strategy useless. Now, some cards I did forget about, though, are a couple from Kamigawa called Mirror Gallery and Mirror Box that could circumvent issues with cloning and could go in any of these decks. Now, the next point I wanted to cover was the fact that my stupid ass, yes, this ass, that is mine, and stupid, who runs this very specific equipment in my Ilharg deck, forgot that Helm of the Host exists. Not only will it clone your commander, but it's not legendary. So let's tackle this with this new knowledge in mind. We'll go from worst to best this time because I feel like it. So I will stand by the fact that Terox is the worst. Being able to make a Helm copy is all fine and dandy, but red still runs into the same issues of being a headache to try to get a card back to hand. You can use a card like Erratic Portal or the lands, but it's not always guaranteed that you're going to get it. Or someone naturalizes it off the field and now you're stuck. As I mentioned before, Voltroning a card that isn't your commander just sucks like pants made of straws. It just sucks booty. And there are much better pump spells that don't require so many hoops to jump through. And again, a 4/3 flyer with no extra abilities as a commander, you might as well just run Joven at that point. Next up is Oris. Now I will stick to my previous statement of prevention effects not being the strongest, but at least Oris, her Helm copy, can at least do something. Having multiple creatures on board that can fog your creatures for no mana can actually be really useful. Bouncing her to hand in white has about as many variations as red has. There are a couple exceptions that I forgot about in the first video, like the one Monarch card, and I think there's one other one. I'll pop them on the screen, but those were cards that I didn't even know about when I made the first video. Anyway, but now you have, aside from like red, you have even less ways of making copies in white. And unlike black, as previously mentioned, most if not all recursion effects in white brings them back onto the battlefield instead of your hand, except for the ones that I just mentioned, which is better than red. Like, red really doesn't have much. You could run a Myriad of Sky Ruin to get Oris back for free every turn, just Erratic Portal her to hand to hold up the silence. I would also like to correct Pass Ironside in the sense that targeting her with mirror clone effects wouldn't work due to state-based actions, so she would just be sacked immediately. Duh, right? Now, I feel like she's the type of commander that if you pair her with stacks effects and other unfun things, she could actually be miserable to play against. But she's still not the best in the bunch, so we're ranking her here. Now, this is where things get interesting. I originally had Coral Ash right in the middle, but new information has led me to believe otherwise, and therefore inspiring me to do this video. I did struggle to place these last three, but I think I got it figured out. In third, I'm putting Linessa. Yes, blue has all the good clone effects. Yes, blue has all the good bounce to hand spells. No, her ability is not good. Is it better than I originally thought? Marginally. I originally thought that you had to target a creature first to be able to use her Grandeur ability. Well, RTFC on me because you target a player. RTFC means read the fucking card. Which can run you into some niche cases where players give themselves hexproof and then you're screwed. And the fact that it still costs so much mana to do it is pretty bad. You know what? I'm going to swap her and Oris. The ability to silence a player for turn is way better than potentially bouncing nothing, especially with the better bounce spells that cost less. And blue is the worst color for ramp, so it'd be a while before you can even do that efficiently. Yeah, it's gonna go Terox, Linessa, then Oris for bottom 3. And now, the top 2. I really struggled with this one because I do believe that Baru is way more powerful than he's given credit for. But Corlash can just become a beat stick and ramp you pretty hard. I think I'll plead my case for each and then decide. So for Baru, I royally fucked up on him the first time because of the ruling with Library of Lang. But Ryan Reynolds' cloning him and just leaving him on the field is actually cracked. I'm sure you can already figure out why. But I'm gonna fucking tell you. This ability. Get this. It stacks. So if you've got 2 or 3 copies of Baru on the field and you drop a fucking leaf, that's giving your entire field +3/+3 and trample. Triple trample? Crater Hoof who? Like, the Grandeur ability to make a token can be pretty good, but Green's pool of getting things to hand is not good at all. It's even worse. I would just want to clone the ever-loving shit out of him and just grow my field like crazy, to be honest. And then pair him with something like a Shaya, so even dropping in creatures will buff too. Run Yavimaya and just make it force tribal? I better get to work. Now, my case for Corlash and why my mind's completely changed with him is strictly because of Helm of the Host. Cloning something in black and letting it die is whatever, but this way you could sack him to something like a Phyrexian Altar or Ashnod's Altar and then use that mana to throw him into your hand and start the loop. I stand by my previous statement of Tiller Engine and Amulet of Vigor with Dread Presence, but hello? Nightmare? Lash Writhe? Things that just buff your swamps? Or buff for your swamps? Urborg? And I still stand by the fact that you can do that infinitely so long as you have the mana and life resource to pay for it with Phyrexian Reclamation. I think Corlash has to be my number 1. I love Baru, but man, I severely underestimated and misunderstood some of these abilities. So, what do you think? Are there things I'm still missing? Because likely. But yeah, let me know. If you're new to the channel, hi. If you're returning, hello. I'm still here. Probably going to go back into making videos, but I ain't going anywhere. So with all that out of the way, wrap that like, tap that subscribe. Peace.